is that we've been going through the sermon series on serving and the purpose of serving. But the way I want to end tonight and the way I want to end this sermon series is I want to help you, I want to give some direction to you. Because we've been learning about serving, we've been learning about why we should serve, we've been learning about who we should serve, we've been learning about what is serving. And so for me, what I want to do is I want to end this sermon series by giving you direction on where you should serve. And so if you're taking notes, that's what I'm going to talk about today. That's my main point, is where should we serve? In the scripture I read you, we find that Jesus, he makes 6 descriptions of things in here. And what I want to do is I want to break those down because each one of those helps us identify where we should serve or where Jesus would like us to focus some of our time to serve. All right, so here we go. I'm going to go really quick. So I need you to pay attention. I'm going to go really quick. So the scripture begins with this. It's, for I was hungry and you gave me food. I was thirsty and you gave me a drink. Now, these first statements, if we look at them, they're more of an intimate setting. It has to do with food. It has to do with a drink. It's for those that are close to you that you would do something like this for. And so that leads me to my first point. And if you're taking notes, like I said, please, I encourage you to take notes. This is not a time to talk to your friends or snap. This is a time to take notes because I'm trying to help you. Where should we serve? The first point, if you're taking notes, is this. We should serve at our home. We should serve at our homes. Our homes are a perfect place for us to learn to serve and become a servant. Can we hear me? I need you to listen. This is very important. I need eyes on me. Can we change the narrative in here as teenagers? Where instead of it being our parents or siblings always asking us to do something, that we instead do that something before they ask. Did you hear that? Instead of them always asking us to do the dishes, and many of us not listening and doing it, or instead of them asking us, hey, can you clean your room? How about we just choose to do it without them asking? And that's what we call serving. See, some of us in here, if we'll be honest, we have a hard time even doing what our parents or our siblings ask us to do. We need to change that up. Before they even ask us, we should be willing. Hey, Mom, don't worry about it. I'll clean the dishes. Hey, Dad, don't worry about it. I'll shovel the driveway. Who here shoveled the driveway without your parents even asking today? Serving at your home, it's a perfect place. I bet some of your parents in here, if you did something, if you took out the trash without asking, I'm telling you, some of your parents would be shook. They'd be like, where'd the trash go? Oh my goodness. We need to change the narrative. And the home's a perfect place to start serving. The second part of this story, if you look at it, Jesus continues and he says, I was a stranger and you welcomed me in. I was naked and you clothed me. I was a stranger. I was naked and you clothed me. See, this is more of a statement in regards to people you might not know, but people you still want to help. And so it leads me to the second place of where we can serve. Are you ready? You taking notes? The second place we can serve is in our community. Or for some of you, in your high schools. See, many of us in here, we don't have the time nor the desire to maybe serve our community, to volunteer our time. See, I know a lot of us in here, our time matters so much, and we're grinding, we're working hard, but when was the last time you said, you know what, I want to just go help serve the homeless. I want to go help serve at an orphanage. I want to help those that are in need around my community. When was the last time you stepped out and you said, you know what, I want to volunteer my time? See, we take so much from our community, and we never give a chance to give back. We need to be people that start to serve our community or start to serve our high school. Start to serve our teachers. When was the last time you served your teacher? Maybe cleaned up the classroom instead of her having to clean up after you. Hello. Serve our community. Scripture says, look what Scripture says. It says in Romans 12:10, it says, be devoted to one another in love. Honor one another above yourselves. Man, we got to honor the people in our community. The people that are the least of these. The third point, and then I'm done. Before I go any further, though, I want to do something kind of new I wanted to do because I just thought it'd be fun. But we're going to take a message break, all right? All right, here we go. You ready for the last point? And then we're done. Told you to be quick. Last point. Shh. Where do we serve? The scripture ends. It says, I was sick and you visited me. I was in prison and you came to me. You know what that kind of sounds like to me, those instances? It sounds a lot like ministry. Ministering to people that are in need. Third thing, where can you serve? Where should you serve? If you're taking notes, is the church. Everyone write it down. The church. Or your youth group. The church or your youth group. I need you all to hear me. When it comes to this point, especially for teens, this is a point that we need to be leading. This is something that for many of us in here, we need to be involved in either the youth group or we need to be involved on a Sunday. I'm telling you, your church, your peers need you to serve them in the church. The people around you right here, for many of them here, the reason they came was because of leaders and some student leaders that serve. And so we need to be the people that are willing to serve, whether it's a Wednesday or a Sunday. Because hear me, you need to get this. Everyone lean in for this one. Lean in. Because hear me. Anytime that you serve a church or your youth group, you are helping other people come to know Jesus. Did you get that? Boys, I need you to be quiet or I'm going to have you leave. You understand? I'm not messing around. I'm going to say it one more time because they distracted you. Anytime that you serve in church or youth group, you give other people the opportunity to meet Jesus. Do you see the weight and the need in the church? That because of you greeting at a door, helping out in the kids ministry, helping out in the nursery, you could give people opportunity to meet the one that could change their life forever. We need you to serve. We need some of you to serve here, to set up, to tear down. We need you to serve on the tech team. We need you to serve on the worship team. We need you to serve and greet people as they come in. We need you to serve and greet. We need you to serve and be on the check-in team. See, hear me. Instead of just showing up to church, we need to start being people that serve the church. Instead of just, oh, I can't wait to come hoop tonight. Oh, I can't wait to come and play all these games. No, I'm going to church with a mission. I'm going to church to help people. I have Jesus in my life, and so what I want to do now is I want to serve so other people can have Jesus in their life. It's time for us to start serving the church and serving in the church. There's parents that need you to take care of their kids for an hour or two so they can have an experience with Jesus on Sunday. Did you hear me? There's kids that need to look up to you and see, wow, that person's a senior, that person is in junior high, but they love Jesus. We need adults to see you being passionate to serve when they feel like they shouldn't serve because they're not good enough. We need to start serving in the church. We need to start giving back to this youth group instead of just taking. And so as I close, I'm done. What I want to end with is, a lot of times when Jesus was talking about serving, he was talking about it to his disciples. A lot of times he had to correct the disciples because they would always argue about who was greater and how to become the best. So we'd always have to correct them and talk about serving. But what's so interesting, after Jesus left, hear me, after Jesus left this earth, we find that the disciples, what they would do is that they would go to a city, they would go to a community, they would help build churches, and they would minister to people. They would start to minister to families. And then after doing that, they would go to another city, they would plant another church, and they would minister to the people that they stayed with. And then after that, they would go to another community, they would go to another church and build another church, and then they would minister to the people they stayed with. Everywhere they went, they would serve the community, they would serve the families that they were involved in, the places they stayed, and they would serve the church. And see, we need to get back to what that looks like. We need to, as disciples of Jesus, we need to get back to being a people who serve the community, serve our home, and serve the church.